This is the TNA Wrestling April 11, 2024 full show results video. The show opens with Josh Alexander and Hammerstone brawling inside the Impact Zone in Philly. Josh gets busted open and Tommy Dreamer comes down to pull him back. Dreamer gets on the mic to talk about Hammerstone's impressive debut, however they have a show to get to tonight. When Dreamer goes to leave, Hammerstone attacks him from behind. Alexander runs back down to make the save and then declares that their Rebellion match will be last man standing. The next match happened between Crazy Steve vs Laredo Kid for the TNA Digital Media Championship, and the result of this match was Crazy Steve won the match by disqualification when Steve continued to pick Kid apart and tried to rip his mask off. The Kid becomes enraged and beats Steve despite the refs trying to stop him, but Kid ends up shoving the referee down and the match is called off. Steve tries to strike him with the title, but Kid ducks and picks the title up as Crazy Steve retreats. The next match happened between ABC vs First Class, and the result of this match was First Class defeated ABC by pinfall when Swan hit Bay with a cutter to counter, then Swan rolled Ace up with a handful of tights to win. After the match, Joe Hendry comes out and challenges Rich Swann to a match at Rebellion. Iceman and Ash by Elegance go to Santino backstage and try to trick him into signing Ash for a Knockouts title match at Rebellion, and Santino says it's not gonna happen. Then Santino welcomes out Jordynne Grace and Steph DeLander with Matt Cardona for their Rebellion title match. Cardona speaks on behalf of Steph while Grace remains confident in her capabilities. Steph DeLander finally speaks and notes Jordynne has had a busy year, but so has she. Grace promises to work harder and retain her title at Rebellion as she continues to cement her legacy, and Grace reminds them that she's beaten Steph DeLander, her boyfriend, Cardona, and even Cardona's wife, Chelsea Green. Grace signs it and offers a handshake, but she doesn't let go and Steph DeLander rams Grace into the table and a brawl breaks out. Grace tackles Steph DeLander and Santino gets knocked down in the melee. Steph DeLander ends up chokeslamming Grace through the table to end it. Backstage, Alicia, Myers, and Edwards interrupt Masha to ask about her offer of teaming up, and Masha says something in Russian and then leaves. The next match happened between Moose vs Trent Seven, and the result of this match was Moose defeated Trent Seven by pinfall when Seven clobbers Moose with a huge lariat. Shortly after, Moose plants Seven with a spear for the win. After, Bailey finds himself surrounded by the System and he gets laid out, and Time Machine runs down to make the save, and the System retreats. Backstage, the System and Speedball Mountain get into it. Santino announces System vs Machine Guns for next week, and Speedball Mountain will face the winners at Rebellion, and Decay walks up and invokes their rematch against Spitfire at Rebellion. Then we saw a match between James Drake vs Jake Something, and the result of this match was Jake Something defeated James Drake by pinfall when Something ended up hitting Drake with Into the Void for the 3. Mustafa Ali comes out and says Jake doesn't belong in the X division and that the division needs limits, and Something attacks Ali's protesters and nearly hits Ali with Into the Void, but GYV stops him and hits Grit Your Teeth, then Ali blasts his title across Something's head. In the main event of the show, we saw a Monsters Ball match between PCO vs Khan, and the result of this match was PCO defeated Khan by pinfall when Khan managed to send PCO crashing through the ladder all the way to the floor. Khan pours tacks over the mat and shoves some in PCO's mouth. PCO spits them out and chokeslams Khan onto the tacks. Hit PCO, Salt connects and PCO wins, and the show goes off the air.